very much for joining us on this lovely Wednesday, the 26th of August 2020. Welcome to the show. Oh yes, just like we did promise you yesterday, that will be coming back to take you through for yet another edition of the Fast Show. Yes, this is the show that starts your day 5 days a week, and we try to talk about stories that made rounds of headlines the previous day and also flash a light on those stories that we do expect to make rounds of headlines today. Well, that's what brings us live on set. And for those of you that have just joined us live on Facebook, thank you so very much. And those that are hosting us live at home, you are doing a great job. We are not going to leave you the same. That is what we promise you every single day. And being a Wednesday, it is a midweek, yes. We're counting down just a few days to the end of this month and also to wind down the week. To most of you, the week starts on a Wednesday. I mean, the weekend starts on a Wednesday. But my name is Chris Makanga. However, I'm not doing this show alone either. I'm always with...
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A pleasure to be here with you like always. We are here every Monday to Friday, and today being a Wednesday means we only have 2 days left on the set to discuss with you matters of national importance. Now, today, aside from the things that we are going to discuss, I would like to say, for starters, that the president failed to address the nation yesterday, as had been suggested, because he had other issues to deal with. However, as the president gets ready to address the nation, be it tomorrow, be it the day after tomorrow, my question for today, for the viewers who are out there, is, do we need the lockdown as Uganda? Now, that question will be running on our social media platforms, and all you need to do is be part of the conversation and answer the question on whether we need the platform. A very good morning, and I hope everybody had a good day yesterday. Now, don't forget to join STV when we start in the morning with the exercise that will start your day. Take a bath as you're getting ready to go to work. You do not need to watch us on your screens. All you need to do is get your phone, go to your TV on your phone using your app, and watch Chris Makanga and Latifah Hamid. I hope you're doing wonderfully well today. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Latifah Hamid.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, non-complaining either. I'm alive, I'm breathing, and I give the glory to the Almighty.
Oh, I can see you looking lovely this morning with a very
Don't I always look
smile
lovely?
On your
Come
face.
on.
No, today you have an extra notch to your face and your hair. So I'm saying you're looking amazing today.
I appreciate that.
Chris
I appreciate
Makanga.
that. One person was asking me yesterday that, why don't you guys put on a mask? And I'm like, oh, we do have masks, but we maintain the social distance. Even when I'm talking, at least, in case you have COVID, I can't contract. 2,263 cases, and we are tested as we come into the building with a temperature gun, and they make sure that we enter with our masks from outside, so that when we enter into the safety of STV, we know that we are safe and can speak to each other without masks. But the only thing I know that I don't want to do with someone, Chris Makanga, just to guarantee my safety, is not to shake his hands. I'm not. I know we use. Neither do I. Neither do I.
Door, but Simon, Chris, I do not trust the level of the things that you touch on your way here. You could be touching the car door. You could be touching the handle at home. You could have said hi to someone else and, you know, shook their hands on the way here. So I have to be careful. Now, that is the kind of vigilance that me and you need to take. See, me and Simon, Chris know each other from way long, and we have a connection on set. However, that doesn't stop me from taking an extra mile of vigilance against Simon Chris, because I know that everybody is sick. That's the only way to protect yourself.
By the way,
put it in your head and say everybody is sick, so that way you can protect yourself.
Like I was saying yesterday, that everybody needs to develop an individual survival plan. You develop your own. Mine is not to trust Latifah, because just like you say that you do not trust me, so I don't trust you. However, there's that bit of leverage that I know, at least from here, you're going home, then from home, you're coming to the station, and by the time, the fact that by 4 a.m., we already here, so I don't expect you to meet so many people along the way. So there's that bit of leverage. However, develop your own personal survival plan about COVID-19, because the government has truly done its best. They've sensitized us. They've told us what are the signs and symptoms. So chidiride erigwe okwebereramu waliwo abantu bagamba nti ensi egula mirambo naye nga temulimu gwa muntu wo oba nga tegulimu nagugwo. So Take care of yourselves. COVID-19 is real, and it's our promise that we shall always give you the information you need in regards to COVID-19. So the show starts right about now. But before we do start the show, I'd like to send wish a happy birthday to my brother, Julius Hams Muganga. You are in Dubai and you're watching the show apparently. Nkwagaliza amaza birthday nunch. Era nsaba Mukama Katonda akuwangaze gy'oli wadde ng'ensi efukamiziddwa ekirwadde kya COVID-19 naye neebaza Katonda olw'obulamu bwo okuba ng'asobodde okubeezaawo n'okukuumira e Dubai. So katukwagaliza ebirungi mu lunaku luno nga ojaguza amazaalibwa go. For now, the show starts.
Well, I wouldn't want to also voice a birthday message because Simon has taken a few more minutes.
That is my
to
little
do
brother.
That. Happy birthday to you, and I hope you blow a million candles. Now, as we go on, the story that made the headlines has made the headlines and continues to make the headlines in Uganda is the breaking of or the demolition of the church in Ndeba. Now, the church story is a bit controversial and a bit complicated. Now, Dodovic has been arrested with a number of people, 20 in total or more have been arrested in the result of breaking this church. However, as we go on conversing and talking about this particular section with Simon Chris Makanga, we will come to realize that there's more to the breaking of this church than just people who came and they demolished.
Maybe I can remind the viewers on what exactly happened.
Please
it
do.
was on a Sunday night. This must be quoted, Sunday night, that a church was demolished, and it was just four days ago. Wali wakaita wennaku nnya emabega nga ekikolwa kye kimu kyali kyagala okubeerawo. Then DPC w'e Kampala Fande Kafeero n'avaayo n'alagira DPC w'e Katwe wamu n'abasirikale abalala bana okubeera nga bakuuma ekifo ekyo olw'okuba nga tekimenyebwa. Naye ekiro ekyakeesa olunaku lwa Sunday church eyo yamenyebwa ku biragiro ebigambibwa mbu Director Physical Planning okuva mu kitongole kya KCCA omwami Ivan Katongole yawa ekiragiro era nga ekikkiriza okumenya church eyo era nga ne kooti yemu yakkiriza oba yafulumya court order yakkiriza okumenya church y'omu Ndeeba. Wabula ebigambo bizze byogerwa bingi nnyo nga beebuuza bivaawa ani ali mabega w'ebyo mpaka erinnya lya Dodovico Mwanje bwe lyavaayo nga bagamba nti lyali ku mwanje nnyo okumenya church y'omu Ndeeba era nga n'ennaku entono ezaddirirawo erinnya lya Salim Saleh lyavaayo ne ligamba nti maybe was behind. Wabula General Salim Saleh yavaayo n'akkiriyalinga empewo n'agamba nti talina kyamanyi and he's not involved anywhere in the demolition of the church. So wetwogerera olunaku olw'eggulo church
the Monday afternoon, the
yes.
Machinje Chief Magistrate remanded to prison Dodovico Mwanje,
yes.
Ivan Katongole from KCCA, and the police officer Martin Odera, together with 18 others on this particular case that just happened. And they were taken to prison, and the case is still ongoing. However, when we look at the controversial part of this case, Simon Chris Makanga, while the church leadership say they were unaware of the fact that the church was being demolished and they didn't know anything about it, there are reports that they were given 4 months eviction notice prior to the demolition
of the church
by the High Court. Now, the thing about this particular demolition of the High Court is that when you look at the documents, there were 2 people that were fighting on this land. Bishop Nsuga and his administrators were the other people versus a woman called Nachwa. She was also part of the ownership of the land. Now, the administrators of Nachwa won the case, and that's why they were given the letter and accepted to demolish the land in where the church belonged. Now, the story is that while the pastors or the people or the administrators of the church are denying the fact that they received information that the church would be demolished, most of them evicted the land prior to that particular demolition. Now, the KCCA, the
Director of
Physical Planning had said that he himself wrote the letter after seeing the High Court letter that accepted this to demolish. He wrote a letter and told them, as you're demolishing the land, make sure that it is on a weekend and it is not on the prime time where people are there and it could cause traffic. Hence, the demolition of the church at that particular time.
In the night,
when it happened.
1 a.m.
Right, exactly. Now, when we look at the story, in the first time when we're talking about the demolition of the church, we came up as a team and condemned KCCA for what happened, condemned the police for giving way for that church to be demolished, and the court as well. But again, when you look at the stories that surround this particular church, there's more to it than is being put out in the media.
So in a nutshell, it was legally demolished.
It was legally demolished.
I think, yes, however much it was legally demolished, I think there was some bit of laxity on how they did that demolition, because when you look at how the clock tower was demolished, there was prior notice that was given to the general public, because it was a monument that was consumed by the general public. And I want to relate to that because this is a church that serves Ugandans. I think there was need to at least inform the general public prior to the demolition. There was need to run notifications in the newspapers, radios and television, because you can't come out of the blue. However much you are legally demolishing, there are people who are consuming that service.
Now, the document that was given out indicates that the church administration agreed to the eviction and had left the land prior. Now, they argue that it was up to the church administration to communicate to the congregation that we have received eviction and we have signed in agreement to the eviction, and we know that we are leaving the land, because they agreed to it before and they left the land before the demolition. Now, in June, let's talk about let's backtrack a little bit to about what happened to the church. In June, the court ordered the church to vacate a 12-year dispute, because it was a dispute for 12 years between Nature's Estate versus Lucy Nsubuga, who was the administrator of the Nsubuga's estate. Okay? Now, when this thing happened, when this case happened, the court ordered that the land title, the special land title that those of Lucy had put up, be cancelled, and the land was given back to late Nature's administrators. Now, the registered trustees of the Bank of Uganda and the administrators of the Bishop Nsubuga's estate did not appeal within the 14 days that was given to them to reappeal to the court against the decision that was taken. And yet they were supposed to do that in order for the church not to be demolished. Now, among the names that had come up, Reverend George William was among the officials who signed the inventory that recorded the eviction. Okay? And once you sign on an inventory, you're literally telling us, I have seen the eviction, I have seen the letter from the High Court, and I'm accepting the fact that we are not part and patent of this land. It doesn't belong to us, and we are going to be evicted. Now, what happened, where the controversy came in, was when the RDC, Farida Mayanja, wrote a letter to police saying that we do not want this land to be evicted, as the High Court had already said, and we are refusing to have the land repossessed by Nature's administrators, and we are having a plan to reappeal to court. Now, that happened when
that is after the other 14 days had elapsed.
The 14 days.
Yes.
And then now they have the right to say that we are not allowing and we're not doing it. Now, on July 30th, they wrote, the Nature's team went back to High Court and they told them that this is what is happening. The RDC wrote a letter, but you said we won the case. Then the High Court gave them permission and
to do the eviction.
You have the permission to do the eviction, and we had granted you the permission, so go ahead and do it. Now, on July 30th, they then wrote a letter to the KCCA, Ivan Katongole, who directed them to go ahead. The demolition. Now, when we look at this particular line of interest, these people got permission, and they informed the church 4 months prior to demolishing the land. You understand? Now, for me, I believe it was the church administration that was supposed to communicate to the congregation because they signed on the eviction notice. They signed on the demolition notice. And that means they had information that it was going to be demolished. Now, they had to communicate to the congregation and the people in that particular area and say, truth is, the High Court came up and ruled that we do not have ownership of the particular land. And when the demolition comes up, we have already evicted the land and we are letting them demolish it. Now, for them not to have done that is what we saw in the media, when a lot of people, including us journalists, took sides and said, no,
there was a lot of anger that devolved.
Yes, it shouldn't have been done that way.
Yes, it is true. And looking back from July and how the court rulings have been done, how KCC has also done its ruling, it's really true. However, it still stands that demolishing a church could be the last thing to be done in Uganda or anywhere in this world. At least, like I gave an example of the clock tower that was demolished, let there be plan. Like what the president also promised that, yes, the church was demolished, but there's going to be a plan to build another church. Okay? And I remember also when the president visited, he put all the developments on that land, he put it on hold. That means there is either going to be whether that letter that was written by the RDC is going to be listened to or not. But all the development on that land was halted.
But you know how much or how many issues Uganda has when it comes to land issues and land ownership. So it's a very controversial issue that you cannot say this has happened and this has happened and we're going to take sides. Now that these people have been arrested, the letters will come up. Who is the real land owner? That question will come up. And the fact that the church actually signed on the eviction notice will come up, and then we'll see how the case continues. Now going into our next case, the DP President Norbert Mao has officially launched the DP Green Beret, and he says he will also launch their tie and t-shirts to make sure that Democratic Party members are proud to be part of the party, like the NUP and the NRMR, and he launched the party cards and party nomination forms that they will be picking and applying. Now, we, Simon, Christian, and Makanga and I, had said that DP has signs of the last kicks of a dying horse. However, Norbert Mao is showing us that through thick and thin, I will fight for this party and I will bring it up to ground. Now, Simon, Chris Makanga, the question here for me is, how true is it that DP is participating in the 2021 general elections, and it will, regardless of what is happening, recruit more members into the party? Well,
before I do bring my comment, let's first have a look at what the party president Norbert Mao said, and then we'll be right back.
DP ku luguudo lw'abalintuma omukulembeze w'ekibiina kino Norbert Mao akoowodde banna DP abaagala okwesimbawo ku bifo by'obubaka bwa Parliament okukima empapula.
Foomu ziizino muveeyo mujje, tewali gwe tugenda kulemesa kasita oba ng'olina ebisaanizo. Balooya baffe bagenda kulaba oba amannya tegakwatagana, tubakolere statutory declarations nsobole okuyitamu.
Ono akubirizza abakyala okwetaba mu byobufuzi bw'ekibiina baleke birekera basajja bokka. Akozesezza omukisa guno okwanjula ebyambalo bya DP omuli enkofiira, amasaati ko n'ebirala.
Bayiyizaayo enkofiira zino kubanga abaagala DP n'abaagaliza DP basazeewo okubeera n'ebyambalo bye bayiwako okulaga nti beenyumiriza mu kibiina kyabwe.
Mu ngeri y'emu alabudde bassentebe b'ekibiina mu bitundu by'eggwanga ebyenjawulo obuteetuminkiriza kwegatta n'ebibiina ebirala nga bwe butali buvunaanyizibwa bwabwe, era babirekere abakulu mu kibiina newankubadde balina omulamwa gwe gumu.
Baddi banaddipi twagala kulabula abakulembeze ba branches ekyokwegatta ekyokukola omukago ogw'omulimu gwaffe nga National Executive Committee. Temulina buyinza busalawo ku levo yammwe etwegasse n'eggundi.
Ku nsonga y'omuggalo ogwokubiri bano bakiwakanya.
Bu gavumenti ate eyagala komyawo lockdown. Bannayuganda babonyeebonye nnyo mu biseera bya lockdown. Toyinza kuleeta eddagala oyagala kujjanjaba obulwadde ate nga eddagala lyennyini ate lireeta obulumi obusinga n'obw'obulwadde.
Basabye gavumenti n'ekitongole ky'ebyobulamu okufunayo engeri endala Abannayuganda ze basobola okukozesa okwewala ekirwadde ki COVID-19.
Tusaba gavumenti eno eteekewo abanaalabanga buli munnayuganda agondera amateeka ge tulina ag'okulwanyisa ekirwadde kya COVID. g'okwambala mask, enkola eyatonsemberera social distance, kunaaba mu ngalo, kukozesa sanitizer, ebintu ng'ebyo.
Ekibiina kino kyakutuuza ttabamyuka waakyo mu lutuula lumu ng'akakiiko bwe kaasalawo era nga kwakubaawo mu mwezi gw'omwenda ogujja ennaku z'omwezi 12 ku ssomero lya Samuel Baker eggulu. Bano bakubaganya ebirowoozo ku nkyukakyuka ya ssemateeka wa DP ko n'ebirala. Nze Shamira Nagawa, STV Select ey'enjawulo.
So much Shamira Nagawa for that report. Iranga kinajjukirwa nti nnaku ze tukubye mabegakaawo si nnyingi nnyo ababaka ba parliament okuva naddala wano mu Buganda region ababadde bava mu kibiina kya Democratic Party bakrossinga ne badda ku ludda lwa National Unity Platform bwegiyite NUP oba aba People Power. Era nga kino kyakuba eddibu ddene nnyo mu kibiina kya Democratic Party era nga wolabye omukulembeze w'ekibiina ekyo oba president w'ekibiina ekyo okuvaayo n'alangirira nomination forms ng'ayita abo abaagala okwesimbawo ku tiketi ya DP muveeyo mugende mwewandiise mangu ddala era n'avaayo n'atongoza ne green beret oba akakofiira aka green nga kino kididde okubanga parties endala zirina obukofiira bwakyo. Ekya NUP kirina kofiira ka red ate nga ne NRM erina akakofiira aka yellow. Wabula kino kireeta okwebuuza kungi nnyo eri bannayuganda nga tugamba DP nagwerawa. What is the fate of the Democratic Party?
Now, in 2 weeks, people will be picking nomination forms for Democratic Party, and they will be applying for the various positions that Democratic Party hasn't had party primaries for, and we are hoping we'll see that happen. However, we have discussed on this show in a number of occasions and a number of times that opposition needed to have a coalition in order for them to oust President Museveni if they wanted to. But we're looking at a position where NUP is standing strong, DP is showing that regardless of how many members that we have lost from our party, we are standing strong, and we have the FDC that has come up to say even if Dr. Kizza Besigye is not standing as the presidential flag bearer, we are still standing strong. Now we are looking at 4 opposition political parties, the strong ones, and they are not giving up, and they're saying we are still vying and we are going in this and we are doing it. We're doing it. Now, DP as a party has had strong members like Nambozo, who we have never thought will cross over to any other political party. Now, when you look at Nambozo, she had moved on to NUP. But later on, she said that I am in NUP, but after this particular struggle, I am going back to DP, my home. Now, this questions 2 things. One, what is the true alliance of the people who moved from DP to NUP? Who do they believe in? Who do they trust? What do they want? And then the other question is, what is DP going to do with the strong names that they heard moving on to other political parties? Now that means they're going to get members who are new in the game and who are now just thinking, now that I don't have a political party and I was thinking of going independent, kangende mu DP, but how many of those are going to be there? Kubanga kati, the party that is, you know, making a lot of noise is NUP, and everybody who wants to stand and knows that he wants to win is going to NUP. And there have been accusations being thrown here and there. Lubega was one of the people who had issues in the youth elections when NUP youth snatched a red beret from his head and fought him because he was fronting a DP member over an NUP member. Now, those are some of the members that have a lot of hypocrisy in them, and in their hearts, they know that they're supporting DP and they're fronting DP members, but what are they doing in NUP?
The truth is, when you have issues in your home, it doesn't mean that you should literally walk out of your home. You can relate this scenario to a man who walks out of his home because he has issues with the wife. And then that man chooses to marry another wife. He could be the one with the dad on his shirt. That means choino kola kwerongosanga gwa mutima gwo wata kitegeeza nti oveewo genda ofune omukyalo omulala. I know there's that bit of excitement that comes along with new things. Apparently NUP is a new baby that is attracting each and every one. Like I always said that Nope is like a red flower in the green pasture that is attracting each and everything. But then people or members of parliament or candidates that are crossing from DP, from FDC, from any other party, crossing to Nope, what reasons are they giving?
Exactly.
If you cross from DP, there could be challenges that are happening within the Democratic Party, but can they be solved? That is a fundamental question that has to be answered by all those that are crossing. Yes, we've known DP to have been divided into different sections, but then can they sit down and amicably dissolve or solve those issues before they cross to other parties? What more are they going to bring on the table rather than consuming or being supported by that new baby? Because all what they are seeking for is fame.
That's what they're seeking for indeed. Because even when Rubega was being fought by the youth, he said, even you guys who are here are supporting NRM, and yet you're putting on the red berets because you want votes. Now, that pushes us to our next headline of the NUP struggling with a lot of things, struggling financially, and then also struggling with party members who are not sure about where they are and what they're doing in NUP. Now, you can't imagine someone putting on a red beret and then fronting a DP candidate or a DP candidate. It doesn't make sense at all. And that's why Robert Chagulanyi came up and said, you're either NUP or you're not. It's not like the other times when you were people power and then you were FDC. People power is no longer just a movement, but a movement that has attached itself to a vehicle and the vehicle is moving. So you're either in our vehicle or you're not. Make up your mind, and people ought to do that. The politicians need to stop hypocrisy. Now, a politician like Ulbega, when you look at him and you're supposed to vote for him with this kind of hypocrisy, you're literally asking yourself in your head, when I vote for him, will he really be for me? Will he really bring the services that I am looking forward to my constituency? Will he be able to do that? Because right now he's showing that he doesn't know what he wants. He can't make a decision between whether he wants to stay in DP or NUP. He loves DP, but he knows their votes in NUP, so he will use NUP to go through. We need to try our best as politicians to stand our ground and make sure that we show voters we know what we want and we are getting there.
Well, let's first look at what Bobby Wine said in regards to that, and then we'll be right back.
Definitely.
Campaign zino ze basalawo ne bagamba mbu za science zeetaaga ensimbi ndala nnyingi nnyo nnyo kubanga buli kyokola kya ssente. Bw'ogenda ku radio zeetaaga ssente, bw'ogenda ku TV zaagala ssente. Abantu tugenda kubatuukako omuntu ku muntu, weetaaga amafuta mangi okutuuka ku bantu baffe.
Twetaaga posta, twetaaga amafuta, twetaaga okuliisa bannaffe ababeera mu field, twetaaga ebintu bingi nnyo. Era tujja kusonda ssente zino nga tuyita mu nkuŋŋaana ezitali zimu, nga tuyita mu kutunda amajolobero gaffe, enkofiira n'ebirala ebifaanana ng'ebyo, naye nga tuyita ne mu kutuukirira mmwe bakinoomu, basebo ne bannyabo. Tulwanyisa enguzi nga tukyali mu lutalo luno, era tujja girwanyisa nga tutute gavumenti. Tubasaba temuli enguzi, tubasaba temusaba abantu ekyoja mimiro, temusosola mu bakandidate besimbyewo oba baagala kwesimbawo, temubasosolera ku myaka gyabwe, temubasosolera ku kikula kyabwe nti ono mwami ono mukyala, temubasosolera ku nfuna yaabwe nti ono ayina ono tayina, temubasosolera ku standard yaabwe mu community nti ono MP ono tali, ono chairman ono tali, ono ayina ekifo ono tali. Fenna twenkanankana.
Waliwo okugoba Samuel Mukaku mu kifo kya chairperson of Electoral Management Committee. Omukulembeze wa NUP National Unity Platform yavuddeyo n'atongoza campaign ey'okusonderamu ssente gyayise mudda ku mudda, era nga muno ekigenderwa kya kusonda akawumbi kamu n'akatundu kamu oba 1.1 trillion shillings. Era nga zino zikigambibwa nti zigenda kuyambako okuba campaign okulaba nga bajja President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni mu ntebe, era nga bo basuubira nti bajja kikola. Latifah, what do you make of that? Do you see that happening?
1.1 trillion Ugandan shillings for the campaign to launch, for them to host President Yoweri Museveni, and they're trying to launch that and say they're expecting 12.5 million Ugandans to contribute only 10,000 Ugandan shillings to this particular walk. Now, when you look at Mudaku Muda, that means 10,000 Ugandan shillings from each person, and they're expecting 12.5 million Ugandans to contribute to this. Bobby Wine started by launching 10,000 for him and his wife. That's 10,000 each to that particular drive. Now, there have been mixed reactions on this particular session because people are saying we are in COVID-19 and Bobby Wine is trying to get that much money out of us. What is he thinking? Why aren't other presidential, aspirants asking for money from people to run their campaigns? People say they have seen the European Union visit Bobby Wine. Isn't that money enough to help him run?
There's no justification that maybe the European Union must have given money to them.
There's no
because
evidence.
We have seen them visit. Yes, we've seen them visit FDC, and yesterday they visited Ant. Yes. So we don't know whether they're leaving a budget or not. So we cannot justify that. However, I don't know whether you're done with your submission.
No, please.
However,
I'll pick up from there.
However, this money is truly needed as the party. When you look at NOPE, I think they just made a month a few days ago. It's just a new baby that is in the political environment, and it hardly has any investment. When you look at political parties that have been in existence for as long as about 2 or 3 decades, and they have achieved a lot. They've invested a lot. Recently, we had the president of Uganda, General Yoweri Museveni, address the NRM members after the SEC elections. N'agamba nti nga bo yakubiriza ababaka ba parliament aba NRM okubajjako 20% of their salary zigende mu nsako oba mu nsawo y'ekibiina. Era n'avaayo n'agamba nti bagenda ku engaginga into business like real estate. So that's a party that has been in existence, that it can accumulate a lot of money to support in the campaigns. However, there's also that budget that is allocated by the Electoral Commission that is given to different political parties. NUP has not touched that money before. You have FDC that has been in existence for as long as 2001, and apparently they must have or may have accumulated some bit of wealth. So when you look at NOPE, which has just started, to me, I think they really need that budget to help them run around with the campaign. However, I had their chairperson, Aisha Kabanda, the party secretary general, yavuddeyo n'agamba nti at least abantu miliyoni emu singa evaayo neewaka emitwalo 5, then miliyoni emu endala neewa emitwalo 2, miliyoni emu endala neewa emitwalo nga 3, then miliyoni endala neewaayo omutwalo gumu, they'll be able to raise that money within the country and even those in diaspora.
Now, as I was saying, the mixed reactions over the fact that NUP is asking for that money, especially with the COVID-19 situation. However, when we look at NUP as a party and what they're going through, now NUP has spent a lot of money on lawyers, especially now that they have to bail out a lot of their party members in this election situation where they're going to be arrested. They are going to, and they have been. So there's a lot of money that is going to be put in the court system from NUP, and then they need a lot of other things in running this party. Just like Chagulanyi said, there's a lot that NUP is going to be doing. Given that it's their first time in the political arena, they need a lot more money.
Absolutely, a lot.
And it's going to take a lot to raise this money. Now, for me, the confusion and the question is in the beginning of this drive. How did they take them this long to run this drive with the elections coming close to what it is? However, when you look at the passion that the NUP members have towards the party, it's time for us to see whether that particular passion comes with commitment and comes with, the heart to give to the party for them to be able to host the incumbent President Yoweri Museveni, just like everybody is calling for change. Because when you see at political parties and building political parties, you want to be part of the roots start of a political party in order for you to be able to celebrate and eat the fruits with the people who are there.
True.
So for those people who are passionate about NUP, it's time for us to see at the end of the day how much money they will come up with and who contributed, and if it will help them run in the 2021 general elections. And when we also see the campaigns that are coming up, these campaigns are very expensive. Come on, Chris, we're going to see politicians who are going to have to pay for airtime on TVs and radio stations. And because they're scientific, you cannot say, I am only going to go on this, and this TV station. You have to make sure that you expand yourself as a political personnel and go to very many different radio stations and TV stations all over the country.
Absolutely.
To set yourself and make sure people know you.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be hard for a party that is starting like NUP, and this money is needed. And we pray for them. Literally, we just hope they come up with this money.
True. And NUP, being the dominant opposition party, apparently, whereby everyone is running to that party. And to me, I think I would challenge all Ugandans. If they could contribute that 10,000, muda ku muda, singa toevayo, oba singa na Uganda bavayo, neba soloza sente zo muda ku muda. Let's give a benefit of doubt to this new party. If they can be trusted with 1.1 trillion shillings, and if they can raise accountability for that 1.1 trillion shillings, that means they are worth being trusted with the 45 trillion national budget.
Well, at the end of the day, the amount they collect will show the number of voters they're going to have. I mean, it's a choice of whether you want to give into this political party. That means you're affiliated to it or not. Everybody has a choice. If I decide I'm not going to be able to give to this party, that means I have an affiliation to another political party, and that's what I am going to do. Now, away from politics and politicking, let's go back to a little bit about the COVID-19 situation in the country and the fact that the president was supposed to address the nation on COVID-19.
Was expected to address yesterday.
Now, what we can say is that this particular topic will be discussed later on in the topic of discussion, but would like to touch a little bit about it because now Uganda has 2,362 cases and 25 deaths. I read it somewhere that we have 25 deaths. Now the deaths are increasing each day, and now we're looking at 90% of the cases being affiliated to public transportation and border borders. And what does that mean? It means that we need to at least pay more attention to one, how we get into these taxis, whether we have our masks on or whether the conductor has a disinfectant. We need to make sure that when we're getting on these borders, we have a disinfectant on ourselves and we're taking care of ourselves, because you're going to sit on a border that someone else has sat on who could have COVID-19 and put on your masks all the way when you're on a border. However, yesterday there was a crackdown on borders in the city center for those who are flouting the COVID-19 rules. Let's look at the footage, and then me and Simon Chris will be back to dive a little bit more in this story.
Mugwanga okweyongera. Kino kiddiridde ekitongole ky'ebyettaka okulagira aba bodaboda gye buvuddeko bwe baali bagibwa ku muggalo okukakasa nga balina elementi ezirina obulabirwamu okwambala obukookolo ssaako n'omusolo gwa inshuwa nga tebannadda ku makubo ng'omu ku kaweefube w'okulwanyisa obulwadde bwa ssennyiga omukambwe. Mu kukwasisa ekiragiro kino, poliisi ezinzeeko enguudo ezeetoolodde essaawa ya Queen mwekwatidde ppiki ezisoba mu 2 bakira bulijjo ekwata teddizibwa nnyiniyo.
Oba amayinja 3 wagamba genda oleete dokimenti ekirabo ate olina kugamba genda enansana.
Ababodaboda abamu balabiddwako nga balajanira abasirikale okubasonyiwa naye nga buteerere bakira buli abasirikale gye bakwata yeggyibwawo. Bano bakukkulumidde eky'abasirikale okubajjako ppiki zaabwe bwe bategeezezza nti babadde baakaddamu okukola nga tebannaba kwetereeza.
Nkukuba ekipapula kya mitwalo 20 Land Road ya Manje omugagga ayagala ssente, buli kimu kyonna kyetagisa ssente. Kati tugenda kukola tutya Uganda yaffe tukole tuti.
Leero nkedde ku makya ngira site ngenda yiiya bayika yange bagikutte, ebyaddala bagikutte. Musajja mbabuuza kiki simanyi sadi pate simanyi permit tuli bannayuganda kasooka embuuze.
bwe tuwubyeko olubu lw'ekigere nabweru nayo abaayo tusanze bayongewevu oluvannyuma lw'abamu ku bannaabwe abakuŋŋaanira mu kibiina kya Century nga bakulembeddwamu omwami Prudencio Mukasa okwerekerwako abasirikale ne bayola bodaboda zaabwe ezisoba mu 2 olw'okwesulirayo ogwa naggamba mu kukuuma ebiragiro bya gavumenti.
Ziwa bodaboda buvunaanyizibwa bwange okukakasa nti gwenvuga emabega ayambadde masiki kubanga omusabaze gwe nnyina emabega agenda kulwaza nze bw'alwaza nze ngenda kulwaza famire yange buvunaanyizibwa bwo okukakasa nti omusabaze gwavuga tayambadde masiki oba ajambadde bw'aba tayambadde masiki ekyamazima muleke. Tukudde bodaboda ziri mu 20 n'okudda waggulu ze tukutte olwaleero operation gye tukozaawo mu Kawala Junction.
Abamu ku baggiddwako ppiki zaabwe balumirizza okubasaba ekyoja mu miro kye bagamba nti si baakukkiriziganya nakyo newankubadde nga kino Prudencio akisambaze.
Sawa mutwalo wali awo kiyamu alina wa poliisi baagala mutwalo okugita
kati bansaba 2 omuvubuka ne mugaaka nkuwa omutwalo n'agugaana naye ng'alinga mu yaaye kati lwaki bakwatisa abayaaye.
Kiba kirungi okussa mu nkola ebyo ebyatulagirwa ku lw'ensonga nti ekirwadde kikyali mu ggwanga era nga kyeriisa nkuuli. Nze Maria Dana Namiro.
Wow, thank you so much. Edith Nabagereka era nga emboozi yabadde nnungi nnyo wabula nzibu nnyo yakudisikasinga olw'ensonga twagala ababodaboda basigaze omulimu gwabwe kuba twamala ebbanga ddene nnyo nga tubalwanirira before the president of Uganda came out and fully accepted them to come back into carrying passengers and also cargo. However, when bulabanga kibadde babagamba mukole mutanisa ato kimenya mwe muzanyira nozo omukono gw'ekyuma bagulina okuvaayo utandika okulaba nti bodaboda either bazikwate oba babajje mu business.
I have totally and completely over time and again refused the use of iron hands on bodabodas and on people. Now what I would have called for is sensitization. Someone Chris Makanga,
no, they've been sensitized. They've been sensitized.
Here I come with what I'm trying to say. Sensitization does not stop on the first 2-3 times that you're being sensitized as a person. We've seen the local community who have been sensitized about putting on masks, but we are still not putting on masks. But what will it guide us or give us if we are going to arrest everybody who doesn't put on a mask? We're going to have congestion in prisons. That means prisons are going to have more COVID-19 cases.
No, for the border
case. We're looking at a
case.
situation where over 200 borders have been taken off the streets. And now these people who are struggling to earn a living are now not able to ride borders. Simon Chris, boda avuga. Mugambe, I am seeing you and I am seeing your number plate. I don't want to see you without a mask again and without your helmet. If
the borders you're talking about are not in Uganda.
I'm coming. And if you do not do it, we're going to arrest you. Now, where sensitization comes in, okay, Simon Chris, is no longer I'm going to threaten you to do ABC. It's now we have a problem. People are not putting on masks. Why aren't they putting on masks? It's because they're not understanding the truth in COVID-19. They do not know what COVID-19 means. They don't understand how extreme COVID-19 is. We need to sensitize them. We need to teach them. It is time that we create a task force that goes to every border stage. It is time that we put the power in the leaders in those border stages to one, call upon a health center person to stand and teach them about COVID-19 signs, symptoms, how it affects, how it kills, how bad COVID-19 is, the number of people that have died, the number of people that are sick. Now, if you do that, you're instilling the fear of the disease in them rather than instilling the fear of police. And then put it in the hands of those particular leaders to make sure that as this border stands in my, you know, border stage, ngatalina mask, owaye ku stage yange. But stage. However, I also want to applaud the borders who have played part in this exercise. Because what happened was, it was not only the police that played part in this exercise, even the borders.
There were those that were involved.
Arrest the other borders to make sure that the COVID-19 SOPs are put in place.
Latifah, truth be told, when these people were yearning to come back on the streets, onto carrying passengers, between you and me, we know we covered several stories We pleaded for them on the screen. Now they are back on the streets carrying passengers but violating the SOPs. To me, ndita jogo. Ndita jogo. Bajoga. You cannot say that, you cannot fully promise that wetukomawo, there are those even who tried. Nebateka bushield mu makati okulaga nti they seriously need their job. Naye ate babaddiza omulimu gwammwe, but you're still carrying a passenger without a mask. You're still riding a bike without a mask.
It is not only border borders who are flouting the COVID-19 rules. When we point fingers towards border borders,
maybe that's the language we should take.
We are leaving other sections of the economy.
Maybe
we have kids that started very well with washing
hands
facilities.
Yes, that's the language we should take.
But they're not following the SOPs. We have people, members of parliament, who are not following the SOPs. It is a general situation that is happening in the country. It's no longer pointing fingers on border borders, members of parliament, or our kids. It is now a general situation. Now, if we say we are going to arrest border borders, if we say we are going to arrest arcade owners, if we say we are going to arrest members of parliament, and we're going to have a whole prison cell of congested people, and we're going to have all border borders taken off streets, and we're going to go back to the same situation
Latifah,
of border borders burning themselves to death. I will insist this, and I will say it again. Chris, you're the one who went downtown, and we had a case where 2 people had just died from the same place, and people had still refused to put on masks. What are you going to do, arrest all of them?
Listen.
At the end of the day, I will insist that we need sensitization as a nation.
Tifa,
we need to insist on sensitization rather than taking
civic education has been done.
It needs to continue.
If there's need to be improved, let it be.
It needs
but
to
however,
continue.
we can't wait to see dead bodies falling on the streets.
We have seen dead bodies already.
We have seen, but we haven't seen those that falling on the streets. Unless if we want to see them, then we shall believe that, oh, COVID-19 is real. But before we get there, can we revisit the economies that were reopened? Because it was shortly after reopening those economies that cases started rising. Sindio? Now, borders. To be honest, I'm speaking this with a lot of anger because I saw them plead. I ran a story of them trying to move around town, showing the president that yes, Mr. President, we have been subjected to a lockdown for now 4 months, but we are willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that we fight COVID-19. Now it is so annoying. It is a general problem.
And
now
what I am trying to say is, Simon, if we see that taxis are flouting the COVID-19 rules that they passed hard and they had put in place, and they said we are following, and now they are not. If we see border borders floating it, if we see members of parliament floating it, if we see arcades floating it, there has to be a bigger measure than arrest. There has to be, sensitization has to be launched. The police need to be part of educating the masses about COVID-19. We would discuss this until the cows come back home, but
if they need to come back home,
and then we'll be back with the TOD as we're discussing the president's solution to the COVID-19 increment in cases in Uganda.
Well, before we take a break, Latifah, before we do take a break, I had an idea that we need money to fight COVID-19. How about that whoever violates a COVID-19 rule, okay, a penalty is subjected to him or her. Let's say borders. You impound a border. For you to get your border, you pay a penalty of about 100,000 shillings. And that money goes straight to the task force. If you violate the SOPs in the arcade, whoever is found violating any SOP, you are charged a certain amount. By us doing that, maybe we shall follow the SOPs. Otherwise, Ugandans, we are known for being so reluctant at each and everything. These economies pleaded so highly. We saw them plead so highly for the president to allow them come back into business. Now they are back, cases are rising, and we can't wait to see dead bodies fall on the street as we take a break.
Bampita Dr. Franklin Mondo Mugisha wano ku STV biri ku makyakera nange nga twogera ku nsonga ez'enjawulo engeri z'okwezimba mu ggwanga lyaffe engeri z'okuzimba gye tubeera gye tuva wategedde obwavu lwa kibuluma mikwano gy'abaavu baani otambula otya osula otya okusalawo okwo okw'obulamu kutandikira ku nfunayo emikwano gy'abagagga n'abaavu tusobola ogitegeera no ku STV tugenda kwogera ku nsonga z'abaslay queen tutambula tutya kukyusa omulembe gw'abawala baffe kubanga bafuuka babuvunaanyizibwa era nga bakozi nga banoonyi ba kikumi tugenda kwogera ku bakanyama bazimba batya emibiri y'omubiri bwe gulimu ssente oba bwe bulamu bwe twetaaga omukazi tasobola kuleka musajja w'emmotoka mukaaga mbwakute akwate 6 pack amufune mbubatambule naye wano ku STV Big Network. See ya.
Abalamuzi babagamba nti if the incumbent president frustrates all democratic means to leave power temusibayo muntu n'omu ku twiza this is why Besigye is released. Museveni ekibi kyalina talina mawulire nawandika n'ekitabo kyange the role of witchcraft in a malicious society sapule njijjamu
noyingire sabo
katonda wa bujja nze katonda w'obujja bw'oba olaga eri sapule togitwala omusajja omubbi bamujja ewuwe ewaka kabanga lyezi ne bamujja ewuwe ewaka yabadde mu ttooyi naye tebamukiriza na tusanatayizi bamutadde buteesi mu piikaavu ba mu state house naye omukyayina bwe yawulidde nti ono bamukutte yeesize kiwi yayitiddeko yadduse ng'omuddugavu.
Hey guys, you're watching STV. Select for fun. You're watching STV. Select for fun.
Bampita Dr. Franklin Mondo Mugisha wano ku STV biri ku makyakera nange nga twogera ku nsonga ez'enjawulo engeri z'okwezimba mu ggwanga lyaffe engeri z'okuzimba gye tubeera gye tuva wategedde obwavu lwa kibuluma mikwano gy'abaavu baani otambula otya osula otya okusalawo okwo okw'obulamu kutandikira ku nfunayo emikwano gy'abagagga n'abaavu tusobola ogitegeera no ku STV tugenda kwogera ku nsonga z'abaslay queen tutambula tutya kukyusa omulembe gw'abawala baffe kubanga bafuuka babuvunaanyizibwa era nga bakozi nga banoonyi ba kikumi tugenda kwogera ku bakanyama bazimba batya emibiri y'omubiri bwe gulimu ssente oba bwe bulamu bwe twetaaga omukazi tasobola kuleka musajja w'emmotoka mukaaga mbwakute akwate 6 pack amufune mbubatambule naye wano ku STV Big Network. See ya.
Abalamuzi babagamba nti if the incumbent president frustrates all democratic means to leave power temusibayo muntu n'omu ku twiza this is why Besigye is released. Museveni ekibi kyalina talina mawulire nawandika n'ekitabo kyange the role of witchcraft in a malicious society sapule njijjamu
noyingire sabo
katonda wa bujja nze katonda w'obujja bw'oba olaga eri sapule togitwala omusajja omubbi bamujja ewuwe ewaka kabanga lyezi ne bamujja ewuwe ewaka yabadde mu ttooyi naye tebamukiriza na tusanatayizi bamutadde buteesi mu piikaavu ba mu state house naye omukyayina bwe yawulidde nti ono bamukutte yeesize kiwi yayitiddeko yadduse ng'omuddugavu.
Hey watching STV. Select for fun.
Thank you so much for joining us. For those that have just done that, glad you are still watching the first show. My name is Simon Chris Makanga. Well, it is a part that we dive into Perspective 2021. But nulira ebyokulonda bigenda okubeera omwaka gwa 2020 ebbugumu lyatandise dda abantu bangi nnyo batandise okwenyigiramu ebibiina by'enjawulo bitadde ebbugumu mu kalulu kano aka 2020 ebirala bakrosinga badda mu kirala abalala bali mu kulonda internal elections. So a lot is happening. Well, today tuina omwami Dr. Dean Emmanuel Chisembo. It is the second time that we are hosting him. Ogwasoka twamukyazanga ayogera ku nsonga za okukiika ku Central Executive Committee ya National Resistance Movement. Era nga mu kifo ekyo mwalimu abasajja basatu zebempita nti engo oba empologoma ssatu omwalimu Dr. Chris Baryomunsi ne Major General Matayo Chaligonza ne Dr. Emmanuel Dean Chisembo. On a lighter note, Doctor, science okukola omulundi ogwokubiri nsuubira biri bulungi.
Yeah, biri bulungi nga because of my voice madensaba nzijeko
kansembere nange wanene obwenti kati osobola okujjako.
Yeah.
Weewaawo tusobola okukulaba omulundi ogwokubiri. Tutandike mpola mpola. Wenyigira mu kalulu ka Central Executive Committee aka NRM ne bakulya Dr. Chris Baryomunsi akalu yakawuuta owakkiriza n'ebyafuluma mu kulonda oba ogenda kujulira.
Ekisookera ddala njagala kweyanza President Museveni ye chairperson w'ekibiina kya NRM kubanga okuvaayo naye nayimirira ku magulu ge n'agamba no, let these positions be elective kubanga kusinziira ku mbeera yaliwo bwe gwasookera ddala ebyo ebibiina okubeera kwegamba biri vacant ate abantu nga basobola okukola ki nga basobola okubivuganyako. Ekirala njagala kweyanza naye komiti ya SEC, the outgoing SEC okubeera nga yabeera vibrant negamba no, let us put what we call democracy. N'ekirala abo bonna ba contributinga mu vetting kubanga it is not something easy bw'otunuulira wano nti wayiseemu oba naye okubeera nga wabeera nominated ne bakuvetinga n'okkirizibwa okuyimirira okusaba akalulu. It was something not very easy.
Kitegeeza ki okubanga mu NRM Central Executive Committee tekuliko bavubuka?
No, kiba tekitegeeza nti tekuli bavubuka kubanga kati ogenze mu
vetting
no owesimbyewo bakuvetinze kubanga kati nze nakola ki nayitawo kati bwe nayitawo nenyimirira kati nga balina okulonda. So okulonda kwe kusalawo oba muvubuka oba
akitegeeza kikoza streets zoogera nti mutemuli democracy mu NRM nti abakadde bokka be baagala okwegulumiza entebe z'ebifo ebyo.
No, si bwe kitebwe ekiri. Si bwe kitebwe ekiri. Mulimu democracy. Kyolaba ffe abavubuka twayimira kati nze ndi myaka 33 naye nayimirira n'abo bonna ba General Matayo Kyaligonza balwana mu nsiko abo bakulisi bali omunsi ali myaka nga 5 naye nayimirira nabo just nti they were versing with 33 years so kwegamba kiba kitegeeza nti mulimu democracy naye the other thing nti abantu tebamanyi how democracy works mulimu a lot of methodologies mulimu like dialogue oba compromise nemukanya ku bintu ebimu n'ogamba kankolekere kusinziira ku kino na kino nze kambere bwenti ezo zonna they are methodologies of working out what we call democracy.
Kati bakulya akalu kyekiddako
okundi akalulu oba tebane naye that is what electoral commission did gave us naye nga nsuubira ku manifesto yange yendina nti akalulu ako kandibadde kange naye it was involved with it was a commercial one ate nga bwotunulira
kiki otegeeza commercial
kiba kitegeeza nti kalimu ssente ate kati fe abavubuka bakavaayo nga twegwanyiza obwekulembezi kwegamba kwekyo ekifo nga tusobola okuketaringa 142 districts oba polling stations buli wamu kati kwegamba osanga bano ku polling stations ezo nga bayina bye bakola ebitali birungi kwegamba okuwaayo ki ssente
kwegamba kyogamba kalimu enguzi
kalimu ssente kwegamba
kalimu enguzi kyogamba
yali talina muntu talina independent mind kwegamba nti akanvotinge Dr. Kisembo kubanga my manifesto you know it very well, no one has it, but if the person who is there can adopt it or other SEC members can adopt it, I think we can have a very good party kubanga nali ngamba aba structures at least sub-county babawe misaala aba veterans babalabe babawe misaala okulaba nti twempowerinze these structures monitoring government programs okulaba tuguza amataka buli every district okulaba nti tuteseko skill centers of reducing unemployment levels okugaba motorcycles and vehicles. It was a superb manifesto that I had with the evening
kati egenda komawa
conferences. No, we have just started. Cholaba kati ndi wano NRM is here to stay. We are here to stay. The good thing it appreciates, it accommodates young Democrats. So kwegamba for us tuli mu kibiina okubeera mu tetulina gye tulaga kati nganza I have a very funny story about NRM. Kwegamba I cannot leave NRM. Ekisookera ddala maama wange ngaali lubuto, that was 86. President Museveni nga yakamala capturing power. Actually what happened, I was in the womb. So it was the same people that helped my mother transporting her from where she was to the destination. So about that kind of hospitality and ngitentia nayenga kiragira ddala nti if it was not because of President Museveni my life today and my mother would be in danger. So I never knew what would have happened by that time. Nayenga that is the scenario
kugweyo nsonga ekumala okuba ngo wagira NRM
kubanga kati olaba NRM we yajja mu bufuzi mulimu abantu abavaayo kati goyinza okutavaayo naye there is wabeerawo ekintu kye yakolera abantu mu families abantu bamu nga bagamba waaye twali tutugulunyizibwa ojjukira bulungi basanga omuntu nga olubuto olukoze olina olubuto bagamba maybe there is some ne bakusala ezo past regimes naye kati ate NRM yalwanirira ki eriyo emirembe kati gye tuyita emirembe kati by this time if those people would have acted on my mother don't you think that you would have lost someone called Dr. Dean Emmanuel?
Olunaku lwe lumu lwe baabalonda omukulembeze eggwanga yavaayo n'atangaza naddala erimu aba NRM n'agamba nti mwe so-called elite mwabambala amasuuti mulemesezza project za NRM naddala ya bonna basome kiki okyogerako?
No, it is not like that. Abalemesezza bonna basome kwegamba mubeeramu abantu abamu. Maybe I didn't understand your question very well. Abani abalemeseza bonna
ba elite.
Who says so?
The president.
Yeah, ekisookera ddala nti olina okusanga nti mu NRM mulimu abajagaliza mulimu n'abatakola ki abajagaliza mulimu abekwekamu kati nga ekala emyufu ne beekweka omwo ne beefuula ba NRM naye nga si ba NRM emitima gyabwe nga mirala nnyo kati abantu bwe batyo buli ekintu kyonna ekijjako ekigenda okuweesa NRM ne President Museveni credit baba bagezaako okirwanyisa akwegamba nga baagala Museveni abeere ne underscores naye is a very vibrant leader, tolerant, he respects values kwegamba that is how President Museveni behaves wadde bw'obeera ng'olinamu emyufu nga toli nnyo asooka kubeera tolerant nakustadinga mpola mpola as they can see a way forward kubanga is very 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 tolerant and ekirala kyolina okutegeera musajja mugezi
kale bakuwangudde akalulu ka sek
yes
oyina wala wogenda okudda
nesimbako Buyaga East Kagaji nesimbako kukwata flag ya NRM Buyaga East okubeera member of parliament so there are so many options nti okulaba nti my leadership nti NRM appreciates it bwekitabeera ekyo tuyinza kwegamba NRM kwegamba eyina youth league eyina secretariat eyina ebitundu bingi wesobola okugamba nti no these future leaders kubanga we are very very valued kusinziira ku ebyo ebigenda mu maaso tekiriyo nti oba NRM teyagala the young leaders in the party tekiriyo naye nga we have a platform we babala okunominating because even on that seat on Buyaga East I was nominated so you can see which party has nominated its people on both seats ogenda kwesanga in NRM kyekibiina ekisoose mu Uganda okulaba nti omuvubuka w'emyaka 33 bakunominatinga ku second position at the same time ne bakunominatinga on NRM primaries that is in Buyaga East so it is a step forward
ku Monday wiki ewedde akalu kabavubuka kakubibwa era nga kalimu emivuyo mingi nnyo nga gwe yeesimbye okubaka wa parliament Buyaga East kikuwa kyakuyiga ki
no akalulu kabavubuka kubanga tekaali onula bavubuka mwalimu ba
special interest group
PWDs kwegamba kino kituwa government eddako bayita ensuubizi yeeyo NRM kubanga bw'olaba nti NRM scoring yali 79 point around 6 that is around 80 kati fe baasomanga 80 yabeeranga distinction 1 kati bw'osuubira nti if mukana k'abavubuka nfunye distinction then n'otunulira PWDs PWD NRM bafuna about 84 then the other one elderly around 86 olabira ddala nti NRM is here to stay kati oyo yenna badde alowooza nti NRM bagenda ne babateekamu ebigambo ne baincitinga violence nti NRM egenda ekyo kiragira ddala nti NRM weeri kubanga
kigambibwa nti aba NRM bayambala obukofiira bwa red naye nga ate NRM
no okwambala obukofiira bwa red
so litwala abantu bali balonda NUP naye nga ate nindyali tebali balonda NRM
no ekwambala obukofiira bwa red tekitegeeza results kubanga results zigamba NRM yekoze etya yewangudde akalulu tebagambye nti NUP kubanga omuntu oyo abeera nga amanyiddwa kati nze Dr. Dean Emmanuel Kisembe omanyi bulungi nti ndi muna NRM ate akalulu ka mugongo kati akalulu bwe kabeera ka mugongo ate n'owangula tekitegeeza nti NUP those are omuzungu kyayita lame excuses nti olaba bakuwangudde olabye nti President Museveni yavaayo n'awa an official statement amanyi bulungi nti Uganda erina okutambulira ku bavubuka n'agamba nti ebyo bonna bagamba nti gunde Uganda nti abavubuka tetwina n'olabira ddala n'olaba bano abafull figure abaana be yajja wano mu ghetto n'atambula n'alaba nti aba appreciatinga kati we are seeing results today kati olina okulabira ddala nti eggwanga lino litambulira ku bavubuka kati NRM bweba ina a distinction 80% kiba kitegeeza in the general elections NRM egenda kweyongerako it will score so I believe that in 221 general elections we should score about over 90%.
Weewaawo tweyanziza nnyo tukyalirako katukwagalize buwanguzi mu kifo ky'obubaka wa parliament Buyaga East birungi byokka bitwagaliza era oddiranga n'okomangawo Thank you so much for those of you that have just joined us. We did have the Dr. Dean Emmanuel Chisembo. Irangono, ayagala kwesimba okubaka bwa parliament okuva mu Buyaga East. Now ayagala kwesimba, we have a platform called Perspective 2021, and that's done by, we do it every single day from around 8 to 8:15. My name is Simon Chris Makanga, and the first show returns.
Hey guys, you're watching STV. Select for fun.
Bampita Dr. Franklin Mondo Mugisha wano ku STV biri ku machakera nange nga twogera ku nsonga ez'enjawulo engeri tusobola okwezimba mu ggwanga lyaffe, engeri tusobola okuzimba gye tubeera gye tuva, wategedde obwavu lwa kibuluma, mikwano gy'abaavu baani, otambula otya, osula otya. Okusalawo okwo okw'obulamu kutandikira ku nfunayo. Emikwano gy'abagagga n'abaavu tusobola ogitegeera wano ku STV. Tugenda kwogera ku nsonga z'abasilekwiri, tutambula tutya kukyusa omulembe gw'abawala baffe kubanga bafuuka babuvunaanyizibwa era nga bakozi nga banoonyi ba kikumi. Tugenda kwogera ku bakanyama, bazimba batya emibiri, ye omubiri bwe gulimu ssente oba bwe bulamu bwe twetaaga. Omukazi tasobola kuleka musajja w'emmotoka mukaaga mbwakute akwate 6 pack amufune mbubatambule naye wano ku STV. Big network. See ya.
Abalamuzi babagamba nti if the incumbent president frustrates all democratic means to leave power, temusibayo muntu n'omu ku treason. This is why Besigye is released. Museveni ekibi kyalina talina mawulire. Nawandika n'ekitabo kyange the role of witchcraft in Malaysia society sapule njijjamu
noyingira sabo
katonda wa bujja nze katonda w'obujja bw'oba olaga eri sapule twekitwala omusajja omubbi bamujja ewuwe ewaka kabanga lyezi ne bamujja ewuwe ewaka yabadde mu ttooyi naye tebamukiriza na tusanatayizi bamutadde butesi mu piikaavu ba mu state house naye omukyayina bwe yawulidde nti ono bamukutte yeesize kiwi yayitiddeko yadduse ng'omuddugavu.
Hey guys, you're watching STV. Select for fun.
Fun of dedication and of discussions of national matters of importance. Well, today we're back and the person in the production room has just messed up my surprise by showing Dr. Mondo before I announce it. Now I'm going to get out of my topic of discussion, what I was supposed to start with, and I have to introduce Dr. Mondo. So Jeff, you've just ruined my amazing surprise. Dr. Mondo, good morning.
Everybody's ready. Everyone was ready to see me, so I thought it was a surprise. I'm also surprised to see that myself on the same. I've been good. I've been so busy. I've been doing quite a lot of work that I can't mention here on TV. And of course, you know that I'm a great supporter of Kadaga, and we won. And we won.
And a great support of the NRM.
No. Kadaga.
He talked to you before.
Actually, I'm not a member. I don't support NRM, but I support two people. I support President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni,
Chairman NRM,
and his family, and I support Honorable Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga. Twaba kubakalulu abaye ni bafuluma. Ekyo kinjagala.
Ekinsanyiso olunaku lw'eggulo Parliament yatudde. Chief Whip wa government, Honorable Ruth Nankabula, yavuddeyo n'amukongratulating. It was so comic.
naye nabagamba ekintu kyonna kyenyingiramu kirimu omukono emikono gitambula ebintu yola bannange kibeera wali. Good morning everybody, mwasuse mutebasebo ne banyabo mwebali nnyo kubanga mubadde mu misinga abo message mbadde mbufuna ku Facebook ku Twitter na buli wantu wonna buli muntu yenna njagaliza era njagala mwebale nnyo mwaba boda boda ate mbagaliza onako olulungi nnyo aba boda boda banjagala n'abakyala bambe bongenda bawuliriza abakyala benyingira mu supermarket babagala selfie simanyi lwaki n'abakozi kwegamba n'abagayi bada bajja babba tiru bazirekawo nga bagala selfie ningati bannange esitiviga y'amaanyi so mutegera kyengamba. Good morning everybody, manyi nti abakedde kukola ku machaga leero mukedde bulungi mukedde n'amaanyi mangi manyi nti weekend egenda kuba nnungi tunagenda okugenda mu weekend akasente kajja kuba katuuse katusabe mukama katonda nti jjajja aleme okusibawo ate olw'empisa zaffe embi empisa zaffe si nnungi bassebo ne banyabo mask twazisuula SOP zonna twasuula tetukyalina guideline ebintu ebigenda okutusibya byebyo okukuŋŋaana abantu abangi tewali social distancing ate olwo bannange balabekamu kyabo baaba ebya social distancing babivaako bali mu bintu byabalinga bali mu fiimu y'ekibanda naye nga covid gyali atta okunaaba engalo kikulu na buli kyemukola kirungi nnyo mubadde muti eno.
Well, we've been amazingly well. Personally, before someone Chris Makanga.
Njayogera mu Luganda.
Mbadde bulungi sebo nga nelowoozamu about what is going to happen in the country come a very short time. Unaona, Dr. Mondo, since you were telling me to speak Luganda, why not Kiswahili so we can engage in Kiswahili? Is that comfortable?
Yeah, hakuna shida. Wewe ongea. Mimi najua Swahili sasa.
Well, we have been wonderful and we've been scared as the nation for the president. He was supposed to address the nation yesterday and we're wondering, is the lockdown going to happen? Is the country going to go into another lockdown? There's widespread fear and people who have been at home for 5 to 4 months have been wondering what next for the country of Uganda? What next? And we've had prominent people who have come up to say that we do not need another lockdown. Amelia Chambade talked about it. We had the Chief Whip talked about it. The Ministry of Health talked about it. And then Rebecca Kadaga also talked about it and said the country does not whatsoever on another level need another lockdown. Let's look at Rebecca Kadaga and then we'll be right back.
Urging for opening up for some places, but the situation is worse than when we started. When we had not registered any deaths, we are now seeing deaths. So the National Task Force tomorrow is challenged to come up with decisions which will instill hope.
Honourable members, of course, the COVID situation is still on, but I think the government should concentrate more on trying to help people to live with it. We don't know where it's going to end. But my worry is that I have not seen the local leaders involved. We are hanging in the air. You people are hanging in the air.
We are urging for opening up for some places, but the situation is worse than when we started. When we had not registered any deaths, we are now seeing deaths. So the National Task Force tomorrow is challenged to come up with decisions which will instill hope.
Honourable members, of course, the COVID situation is still on, but I think the government should concentrate more on trying to help people to live with it. We don't know where it's going to end. But my worry is that I have not seen the local leaders involved. We are hanging in the air. You people are hanging in the air.
Kubanga nga yali amugamba nti temutawaana tuletaana mugalenga batunulidde nga mukongratulatinga our politics we mwagalira nti oba there are no permanent enemies.
Yes.
and they are no permanent friends. Yes,
and that's how it's supposed to
and
be.
It's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's not how it's
no, that's how it's supposed to be.
How it's supposed
According
to
to
be,
political
Simon
settings,
Chris
that's how it's
Makanga.
supposed to be.
Because I
it's
cannot
reorganizing and
compete
organizing.
with Simon Chris Makanga in elections. I lose, and then we're enemies in the August House. It's not supposed to be that way. If we lose and we're enemies outside, when we come into the August House, we're sorting out issues of national importance
The elections
that
you're
are
talking
supposed
about,
to be service delivery.
the kind of setting you're talking about does not apply in Uganda. In Uganda, you're either my friend or you let me tell you, have you ever seen Dr. Kizza Besigye shaking hands with the Yoweri Kaguta Museveni?
Yes, they do.
It's been a free election. No.
They did.
No.
When we are in
President Museveni aba alayira ekololo nga Besigye alayira ono kustate.
No, let's talk about the debate. They had International Conference Center at the Serena. How they did it. He shook everybody's hand. I mean, he greeted everyone. President Museveni doesn't have
talking about shortly after an election.
No, after election. It's decision of individuals.
Emotions are still high. It's understandable.
Even some individuals. But President Museveni doesn't have permanent enemies. In actual sense that even his enemies, he has so much tolerance that he has first to study you as an individual. That is President Museveni's niche. That he sits down, he looks at you, he analyzes you before he acts. Before he will come down for you, he will put up a system that will come and monitor you up. But going back today, kuchiri nti kinona chebaziza nti oli yakulisizayo munne namugamba you're welcome, congratulations, nenga karuko kadaga yabakuba 98.8% kwegamba n'okuba abantu n'obafulumya kinategeeza nagati singa bayitayo omulala enti bandizo na muganza eno tukiveeko oyo mukazi munne.
Now back to COVID-19.
Let's go back to COVID-19.
Yes.
Kampala is locked up, and I'm telling you this without fear of favor because of two reasons. Ntabanda basinzo okunakuwalero okuleta COVID kwambuka wagulu. Cases in Kampala.
True. And it's no worry.
And the COVID is in our communities. Abantu bano kukimanya ekyo. Ndina time egenda kutuka COVID na gwa mama. Nga sirimbu ya gwa mama. Sirimu ya gwa mama ntobera naye nabera nomo abantu batambula. Actually abantu bakyafa sirimu. Nze ninayo mukwano gwange ambazine simu ndo zakati myaka 22 naye ali nomo ali actually better normal than normal people kubanga vairo sitaseri waguru abantu bali nomo tena simu nenga vairo sitasi abiri wansi exactly nga ekibakola ka ataka kimutwala. But if you go to look today about how systems are working today, ababoda ngejotambuza abantu. I mean, I look at people, about taxi, arcades, but nange kirima nze sigenda market, why I don't do shopping here into kutula mukiwa Kampala. Na ye oyita buyisi boti ngovuga wanga bakuvuga ngo bayambuka. No gama naye mukama tuliruddawa. Omusirika yabivaako ali ku simu.
Many price kikubo.
Banani ekyo kiriawo. Kakati nawo fabe kanisa we tulabirikide nga tulina obuzibu. Fetuli organized tusobola kutugulawo ekyo kitadde kankireke nakirekera jjajja nakiroza jjajja tulozangako naye ng'ekigambo kibayita SOPs tetuzigoberedde bye tulina okuba nga tugoberera tetubikoze kati n'olw'ensonga eyo tugenda kuba ne challenges tugenda kuba n'okusoomoozebwa tugenda kuba n'ekizibu tugenda kuba n'okukaaya n'okunene ennyo wakati waffe nti tujja kuba tuga president gulawo obwavu butuluma naye abantu batusinga okutuleetera ebizibu ebyo beba bodaboda bwe tutaakwate obuvunaanyizibwa ku making sure nti okuwona kwaffe n'okutaasibwa kwaffe ekyo ntukikiriza tugenze. Solution number 2 gavumenti eteeka okutuula wansi nekkiriza nti kino ekirwadde kyajja we can live with it naye buvunaanyizibwa babiri muntu yenna. Ekyokusatu Uganda ngimanyi bwe bafiiramu abantu babiri beekuuma.
Dr. Mondo
munyumba buli nyumba befuwa abantu
buli muntu yenna naye kati buli muntu yenna nga bw'obayise baganya okuteeka SOPs mu nkola. What next?
Tulina capacity ya police ali tulina control systems ezi controlling abantu kwingira ekibuga kijjayo osokotegere ekibuga kiri open from anywhere you can enter the city.
Close to 4 million people.
Exactly. Katuna mo controlling the access. Newe bagamba nti batunulire batubyetegeza abantu gwe toyamba toyingira ebintu bigenda kubakwata ko ze nkubulira amazima. That's not going to happen. Naye kigenda kutwala abantu baffe okuteeka obuvunaanyizibwa nti safety starts with you.
Personal initiative.
Gwe nyini gwasooka okuba ne kye bayita safety. Don't get family yo. Let me just give example. Nenkono wa Ruchi yafunye COVID. And Arima Isolation Center. And we've been talking, of course, on phone. Naye akubulira COVID bwaruma. Akwata amawugwe, akuluma, ebintu COVID byakuyisaamu be psychologically it's like a death sentence. I'm telling you the truth. Naye nga tetugamba abantu ba COVID, that's not a death sentence. that's the process of you getting out. Neighbor kuya process omuntu kubera how you are disengaged with your people. Abana boba kubira bukubizi kugamba ino kuba ne data. Isolation. You have to talk to people. So to me, I think there's issues that we need to find out. That COVID-19 will not go away until we start taking care of ourselves.
Dr. Mondo, amabega kao koti ekiwo kati sawa zino bannayuganda abasinga baganya okukkiriza nti COVID-19 jali. Nenzijukira ebiseera by'amabega kao. I was very young but very vigilant. Nti silimbu yali akajja mu Uganda. Ministry y'ebyobulamu yakwatanga drive ng'eteeka bi screens projectors netuuka awantu n'eraga bufirimu nga balaga omuntu nga bwafunye sirimu embeera obulamu bwe bukyukamu effects signs and symptoms ebina tebabikoze ku COVID-19 tolowooza
nti COVID was an emergency sirima akuluma n'akulumira ebbanga alinga kansa ne COVID yakwata leero enkya ng'oli wansi kubanga so kutugama gwe n'atugwa omutwe n'alala kutambula ng'agenda ku bwongo n'alakakira mu byenda ekintu ekikwata omuntu nga kyagala kumutirawo tekiriko na time yakusomesa ekyo ekikubuli abantu bajja kufa
so tulindi tulabe emirambo bagimudde ku kkubo
abantu kabasoke bagweko emirambo ojja kutulira abantu kasita bafa Makanga abantu bajja kutereera ng'omuntu owuwo gwe badunyumye naye n'olanga ali mu keesi ataddeyo akubidde ejjambo n'asiibuza Kampala obugere anti emotoka betambula ng'oli mulambo obugere bugenda bukola buti ng'osiibuza Kampala nti ngenze amazima genyina addako ajja kuba n'obuvunaanyizibwa wabula nti ate waliwo obubadde obulate bwaduzuuseewo nti kati n'abantu abafa ebirwadde ebirala babagamba nti bafudde COVID-19 toga nti mukava katota. What is happening?
Well, Uganda as a nation is fighting COVID-19 in a place where our health facility is already in trouble. True. Even without COVID-19, our health facility is in trouble. And now we're looking at a situation where the budget that was put for COVID-19 has been embezzled and has been eaten in this situation. And now what we have is a bigger budget for security forces to enforce the COVID-19 SOPs. But is that the way to deal with COVID-19? Because we have all agreed as a team that we do not want the lockdown to come back. Obuavu is too much. Poverty is too much. Hunger is too much. We don't want COVID-19 to come back. But now the question is, what is the way forward for Ugandans? What is the way forward for the government? What is the way forward for police? Now, I have always said that we need to come to a solution as Ugandans to a place whereby the government puts a budget of sensitization. Chris, you've spoken about HIV and how it came and how much energy was put into sensitizing Uganda because at one time HIV became the biggest killer in Uganda. Absolutely. And now COVID-19 has taken over that position, and it's time that we create a bigger task force to deal with sensitization of COVID-19. Although the budget has been used up, we need to find a way to create that budget. I have said it that we need to ask the police force to be part of the sensitization of COVID-19. Stop only enforcing, beating up people and telling them that we're going to arrest you, or actually arresting people, but educate the masses. Dr. Mondo, not a lot of people know about COVID-19. They don't even know that
downtown. Abantu bamanyi COVID-19 jali. Naye tebannakiriza nti mwali mu Uganda. There's that belief. The streets are talking. Nti COVID bamuwira mwali. Naye tebannakiriza nti mwali muno mu Uganda. Tebamanyi na kumanya signs and symptoms. Nti omuntu bw'aba afunye COVID oyisibwa mu mbeera ki. No wonder nti bana abafudde bonna bafiiridde mu private clinics.
And we've seen that one day, we've seen that there's a time one person died and it attracted a crowd of people as if they were coming to see what, a car being launched or something special that is happening in the country.
That is real Uganda.
It's because we don't know what COVID-19
is. You have lived in Uganda longer than we have. You know Ugandans more than we do. Tukoze tutya government ekoze itya okulaba nti information oba bakirizibwa okukakasa nti COVID-19 jali nti no ofiye yeje mu maaso go oyambale mask na terya
waliwo task force eriwo task force erina okutuula wansi nekola analysis y'ensonga zino. Number 2, badde mazimbe bizimbe kubanga abantu bonna abajja mu Kampala bajja kukola ekisooka ddala baseko security kwati bajja kontrolinga abantu bono kujja naye obagenda okukolera basibewo
So that's another 4 to 5 months of lockdown.
Yes,
that's exactly what you're doing.
I'm calling for a lockdown at, not a lockdown, but a control at the working place. Let me give an example. Tibudi akedi singa wasaka police basatu. Today, they were deploying. Akedi tuzunameka mu Kampala. Buli station, neteka aba police aba basatu.
Okukola yochi.
Okubera wo kubanga na sika na private abekibundo. Tibacha bikola babera ku masimu. Yenda ka video ngali ku simu ngeri abantu bayingira. Ngai bagala bafuluma. Ana bakowa.
Gani bati bwakola.
Ngenda itao.
Where you thinking that where are we heading? Embeera gye tulimu nakulwaleyo singa balokinga Kampala tebalokinga Kampala balokinga ebifo abantu gye bakolera. Instead of deploying on the road, let them deploy at the working premises. Ekigenda kutuyambako mu Uganda oba mu Kampala naye Kampala n'emirirano bwetwogera Kampala twogera ku Mukono, twogera ku Jinja, twogera ku Kampala, twogera ku Mukono, twogera ku Kiso, twogera ku Entebbe, twogera ku bifo ebituliranye Mpigi, twogera ku Greater Kampala yonna yeetaaga kye bayita SOPs nga ziri strictly. Naye kati kyobukola kyekiwa ogenda woteza akanyeebwa wo deploying abantu bano abajja mu kibuga amakubo ge bayitamu togafaako naye wano bagenda okukolera bwebasanga nga bamaze okubeera nga balinga 10 nga bali mu layini awo ojja kutegeera nti enforcement emaze okuyingira. Ekyo kigenda kuyamba abantu era abantu bagenda kuba nga batambula nga basobola okuba nga bagoberera amateeka SOPs eza Ministry of Health ne guideline. Naye ekyo buli kyonna okumanya nti abatikuzi nabo weebali. Museveni otawe warwana si lwa COVID-19 abatikuzi ababadiya nabo mwebali bakutte banywedde beeterezeza kubanga where there is a crisis there is a budget. Kino kibasomesa muli good students awali budget bona abasajja bali mu government. Museveni si mubi. President Museveni is a very good man. Naye abasajja abatikuzi bateekamu embeera esobola okutikula abantu. Bobi Wine yandifudde okubeera nga yesimbawo ayagala ekidongo kyagala kola bintu bye naye si mbeera bano abasajja abatikuzi balina engeri gye bakolawo embeera ne forces za security zennyini nazo teziwoomerwa nga waliwo emirembe kubanga bwe zibeerawo waliwo budget ebeerawo bali abakulu abadrowinga kati security budget yabaddewo kati weeri ready kati weeri esinga neya covid kati neya covid nayo egenda kwongerwamu esente zo bagenda kuba bazijjawa bazijja mu nsako eya gavumenti. Kakati gwe njagala nkubuulire ssebo ne nnyabo atudde eyo olunaku lwaleero nti you are not creating only problems for Uganda. No, you are creating also a financial issues for the government. So President Museveni, why do I credit him? He's fighting 2 wars as the head of state and the fountain of honor. Nti crisis wemala kutondebwawo goza lwaki abantu basobola kukola enforcement esobola okuteekabwawo eya police negamba nti ku buli kizimbe togera abantu aba basatu no going in. Strict orders ne bateekawo ne systems. Ebizimbe bino byakedi lwaki bigula bino ebyuma ebya Buy Uganda, Build Uganda bino bifuuyira omuntu nga yakayingira naye ebizimbe lwaki tebigula lwaki tebateera condition nti buli kizimbe twagala nga abantu bakiyitamu naye olwaba bagamba temubigula leka abantu bafeeko
Budget well, the discussion continues on our social media platforms, and you who is watching us live, you can go straight to our Facebook page and comment on what we are talking about. The thing is very simple. The president of Uganda was expected to address the nation yesterday. Unfortunately, he didn't. We expect him anytime sooner, either today, tomorrow, any day, for as long as he's ready. But the question is the lockdown needed again or not? Leave a comment.
As we're discussing the lockdown, as we're discussing whether we should have a lockdown or not, we're also supposed to discuss the concept of scientific elections. Now, Tamale Mirundi believes that there has to be rallies. And the truth is, we've seen what has happened. Scientific elections alone, scientific campaigns alone is not enough for the country to deal with what is going on in the electoral process. Now, we've seen members of parliament from NUP to NRM to other political affiliations that are standing up and collecting crowds and showing people that it's okay for you to come and listen to me as I speak without masks, without social distancing, and without the, articulation of telling people that I am speaking to you, but where I am as, an agenda setter, I am telling you, Mwambale, masks, please go to a certain point. All they're thinking about is how am I going to go into the August House and earn the 25 million. So as we are discussing police being put at the arcade doors, we should also discuss the members of parliament versus campaigns and elections. Very important discussion.
naye nkubuulira nti twetaaga kubanga ne rallies tosobola kugamba abantu nti bagende mu kalulu after many years nabagamba nti waliwo scientific jjajja wange nti nagambye nina omukyala myaka gye 9 mumumanyi hajati yangambuuziza nti kodiki yaweddeyo adambuuza jo nageze nemulaba yantumiza yaweddeyo nti opitidde kyajati nagambye kodiki yaweddeyo nga kodiki akyaliyo akyaluma abantu nambuuza yakatta bameka.
People don't know information. People don't.
Nagamba naye kakati mpulira no kuledi yeno bagenda kuba besimbiyo kati tibagenda kuŋŋaana nagamba bagenda kuŋŋaana hajati nagamba kodiki tabate kugamba you can see okukadde emyaka 9 hajati amanyi nti waliyo covid naye look at the whole process kinizobagana. This is not election until you have a campaign. True. You can dictate, you can be a dictator and decide and do your own things. Maybe chija kuchigambo chibaita elections. Chija chigambo chikunganya abantu bida kukungana.
How are we going to manage it?
Now how are we going to manage it? SOPs. Kubanga bagamba tukugenda kungana mu kisawe. Abantu batakebe nyo kisawe sawa satu. Musewe ekyuma. Kifuuyire. Buli ayingiramu
mask
kikufuuyira ngodeyo. This social distancing tukole mu bisawe by'empira by'amasomero lari zibere mu bisawe so si kukubo twebo kwatira kukubo police eberewo. These laris are very simple. They are primary schools all over Uganda ne bisawe terisomero talina kisawe abantu bagende mu bisawe abagala
okubajja ku TV
aku TV tiri TV
TVs are a bit cheap.
Muchanga talina TV tabena TV kuja ko radio
but now that you're talking about that,
when you talk about decision making and
it's a more viable
it's
solution.
More viable ebisawe okubanga biyingirawo naye kyokubiri nti tebijja kubaawo abantu bali abantu bali mu bintu byabo. So ekigambo kyebayita okuŋŋaana ekigambo elections is part of them. Kiriwo gamba nti omuntu ogende ogamba omulokole nti genda osabire gyosabira ajja kusaba naye ajja kubanga yemulugunya kati naye mutoka I'm not doing fairly kuba abalokole bakkiriza nti balina okuŋŋaana nga wamu abantu baagala kukola. Let me just give example. South Africa nate njogera n'omuntu omu South Africa nangamba nti office kizimbe bakyabandoning biri mutakola wuwe naye balina access ya internet se nevaako neddako yawo naye balina constant internet. Okay, naye balinga bali mu office because they are using Zoom and they're discussing with each other naye bamaze emyezi 3 nga tebali wamu
and things are going on.
Things are going on. Kitegeeza nti abakozi tebagendagenda virtue nti ojja kubeerewo nange embere wange tutandike tukole wone TV emu nagirabye yadde abakozi bali waka nenga abakola nenga the broadcast is running up, it's moving up. Kati tununa ku wrestling ebintu byakyuse mu nsi wrestling abantu bakyamulabira mugundi mu arenas kati arenas screens za occupies arena nebale covid akyusize
Dr. Mondo onako lweggulo twabadde ne Latifah nga tukubaganya ebirowoozo kuba tulaba sectors eziwerako nga covid-19 azirumbye. Mulimu sector ya ministry ya finance, mulimu UNRA, media
houses,
different companies, different people. Kitegeeza ki singa abantu bonna abakozi bonna bagenda under quarantine, what does that mean as for the nation?
We have to go to virtual. Those who are working will go to virtual communication. Twatwingi the virtual communication ndio yaba ijja kuberewo ngoli isolated naye ngolina computer yo ngoli one kwa wene covid ebikwatako byonna biba bibi nesimu ebeera yiyo kati abasajja abenzawo bawumulira ate nokwata ku ya mwami ate isolation is okay isolating isolation nagati mumpe choice mbera isolated with somebody noganda to mukwase nidde wange namugamba nidde sebo y'omuntu wa gwanga so kakati tutunulira ku nsonga eza isolation n'ebintu ebirala today at this very moment
and what
tutunula nti tunatera kuyingira mu virtual world whereby ajja kubeera ewuwe nange mbeere wange tutandike tukole.
All right, now the first show is going to be taking a very short break, and we return in a bit.
Watching STV, select for fun.
Abalamuzi babagamba, if the incumbent president frustrates all democratic means to leave power, temusibayo muntu n'omu kutwiza. This is why Besigye is released. Museveni ekibi kyalina talina mawulire. Nawandika n'ekitabo kyange the role of witchcraft in the malicious society sapule njijjamu
noyingira sabo
katonda wa bujja nze katonda w'obujja bw'oba olaga eri sapule twegitwala omusajja omubbi bamugye ewuwe ewaka kabanga lyezi ne bamugye ewuwe ewaka yabadde mu ttooyi naye tebamukkiriza na tusanatayizi bamutadde butirasi mu piikaavu mu State House naye omukyayina bwe yawulidde nti ono bamukutte yeesize kiwi yayitiddeko yadduse ng'omuddugavu.
Good morning. Olunaku lwale ku machagaliro njagala kwebaza mwenna abazzeewo nga bulijjo ndi musajja mukozi ate ekigambo ky'amagezi kye mbandeeta gy'oli kiba kiyamba obulamu obwo. Twogenda kwogera ku kigambo kye bayita okuwummula. Okuwummula kikintu ekimu ekiwummuza obulamu bwaffe nti ne bwe tukola tutya tuteekwa kuwummula. Okuwummula nno kwa mirundi ebiri. Waliwo okuwummula okw'omutima n'olaba ng'olina ebizibu bingi naye n'ogamba kino kampumule mu Mukama, kampumule mu bulamu bwange nsobola okuba nga si stressinga oba kugenda wala. Waliwo n'okuwummula k'otulo ng'okoze nnyo ebbanga ddene okoze essaawa nnyingi naye nga wetaakuwummula. Omubiri gwo gwetaakuwummula, omubiri gwo n'ekyuma kituuka ekiseera ne kikaddiwa. Emmotoka naye ekutuka nesirika ne bagiteeka wali ebbali ne bagisala sipeeya nga naye ewummudde. Buli kintu kiri ku nsi kiwummula. Mukwano gwange njagala okwogera gy'oli nkugambe nti ekigambo kye bayita okuwummula kikimu ekyetaagisa munda mu bulamu obwo. Wummula, funa ekiseera ekiwummula, newankubadde okola otya oteeka kufuna ekiseera ekiwummula. Kigambo ky'amagezi. Good morning. Kumachaga lero Genesis wali atuleeta ku byensimbi enkwata y'essente n'enfuna n'ebyenfuna. Genesis, good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Franklin. It is nice seeing you today. It has been so long. How are you doing?
Ensimbi ebyokukola binene. Singa ensimbi zaffe olunaku lwa leero tutuzikwata bulungi. Genesis simanyi tugenda okukola. Tulina ekiseera ekyokutuula wansi naffe. Example, nina ebintu ng'ebigambo by'enfuna. Ebyenfuna bidda bonkanye. Abantu baavu, endwadde nnyingi, ebyetaago byaffe bingi, ssente zifuuse ka ssente. Simanyi tugenda okukola mu bintu by'ensimbi. Naye olunaku lwa leero njagala otumenyamenyere, otukutokutulire, otuzzeewo, otuteeke ku bbeesi. Ensimbi zo tuzifunye tutya. Ate n'abadde ateesa akasente olaba atereka budola bwabwe nga buli eyo mu nsimbi zaabwe nga buli eyo wansi. kumachagaliro njala tunyonyole tukoze tutya.
Thank you, Pastor Franklin. Good morning. Gasina tandika kugera ku business. How are you? How have you been? I heard you've been sick.
I've been sick. I've been mbadde mulwadde nga ndi mugonvu naye nga obulwadde bwange ndala bukoowu kwe kuwumula olwero nze n'ekirowoozo ekigaa nti kampuumule ate nga neetaaga kuwumula ate nga mpuumula omutima njala kuwumula emmeeme nga n'omubiri guno gwetaaga kuwumulamu.
Okay, it is good to see you back in studio. I'm sure everyone was excited to see you today. The humor man is in the studio today. Well, good morning, and once again, welcome to the Business Angle. It is the 26th day of the month of August. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I woke up thinking it is a Thursday. The week has been moving too slow. Well, it is a Wednesday, and I hope you have enjoyed Latifah, Chris, and Pastor Franklin take you through the morning show as they give you updates on everything going on within your local community and around the world. Right now, it is the Business Angle with me, Genesis, and welcome to Talking Business and Money. Now, today I wanted to talk about the financial sector in the country. Uganda's financial system has about 3 institutions. We have the formal sector, the semi-formal sector, and the informal sector. Yeah. Now, the formal sector comprises of developmental banks, capital markets, pension funds, microfinance, deposit-taking institutions, and that is it. Now, the semi-formal sector is comprised of literally circles. Then we have the informal sector that is comprised of village, capital loans and savings organizations, something like that. Now, the semi-formal sector, the informal sector, let me start with the formal one actually. It is not very prominent, and it has about 14% of Uganda's population. And then the formal, the semi-formal sector, I beg your pardon, they keep confusing me. The semi-formal sector is comprised of about, it's actually very, very prominent, and it has about 12% of Uganda's population. Now, this means that Uganda's economic system is still very shallow, and about 62% of Ugandan citizens don't have access whatsoever to financial services. This is really, really, really bad. Now, what I want us to look about today is, in the 12 million Ugandan shillings that are capable of having banks in the country, we have only 4 million that actually are having banks in the system. This is not very good. Now, today, let's take a look at the forex rates and see how the dollar is buying and how much it is selling, and how the euro is buying and how much it's selling. And today, in the dollar, we have it's buying at 3,667 and selling at 3,677 shillings. The pound is buying at 4,795. This is a little decline here. And then selling at 4,808 shillings. The euro is at 4,328. This is a really big decline, and selling at 4,332 shillings. The Kenyan shillings is at 33. It's been like that for the past few days, and selling at 34 shillings. The Tanzanian shilling is at 1.58 and selling at 1.58. And lastly, the South African rand is at 213 shillings and selling at 214 shillings. That is it for me today. I'm not going to take a lot of your time. I want to send you back and you enjoy this man of humor in the studio.
I believe that today is going to be a great day. I want to wish you a beautiful, great day. Of course, in a few minutes, we're going to be out of here. But the 2 things you must know. I want to ask about the financial sector. What is the private sector foundation doing now towards our finances?
The private sector foundation is not doing a lot, Pastor Franklin. There is not much going on in the country. As you know, over the COVID-19 pandemic, everything has been at a standstill, and not just Uganda, but the entire world.
How do you think we revamp this? Because we have economy, we have people who are struggling, we have actually lay people who are doing business, and they're doing it in badly. We have batshit.
So far, Pastor Franklin, the government of Uganda has not yet given any solution to this problem. Right now, the dollar is very low in the country, and this has pushed the shilling a little high. It is literally not visible, Pastor Franklin, but so far, has gone high a little. I don't know if this is going to help, but I'm not seeing how it is going to help. And so far, we don't know what to head right now, and we are just looking at the future and hoping we see something better for tomorrow.
Thank you, Genesis. God bless you. And I want to come back right after this.
STV, select for fun.
abalamuzi babagamba if the incumbent president frustrates all democratic means to leave power temusibayo muntu n'omukutwiza. This is why Besigye is released. Museveni ekibi kyalina talina mawulire. Nawandika n'ekitabo kyange the role of which could have been a malicious society sapule njijjamu
noyingire sabo
katonda wa bujja nze katonda w'obujja bw'oba olaga eri sapule twegitwala omusajja omubbi bamujja ewuwe ewaka kabanga lyezi ne bamujja ewuwe ewaka yabadde mu ttooyi naye tebamukiriza na tusanatayizi bamutadde buteesi mu piikaavu ba mu state house naye omukyayina bwe yawulidde nti ono bamukutte yeesize kiwi yayitiddeko yadduse ng'omuddugavu.
Hey guys, you're watching STV, select for fun.
Good morning. Tumanyi tunakulali badde lungi twatandise fena kumacha kuva saa 12 tukola bulungi manyi nti ababadde okuva kumacha mubadde mwabali ku internet mwebali nnyo kubeera naffe olunakulali lwa kusatu manyi nti otandika okunoonya n'okunoonya ekikumi tunatera okusibula era tuva wano olunaku lwaleero kantandike ne Simon.
Well, it's been a great show and it's been a great discussion in regards to COVID-19 and we can't wait for the president of Uganda to address the nation, though apparently we can't tell what exactly he's going to say. But when you look at the environment, I want to re-echo what Dr. Kizza Besigye said, that the lockdown is desirable, but it's not what we should opt for. Let each and every one design an individual survival plan in regards to COVID-19. If it means putting on a mask, please do wear a mask. If it means working with a sanitizer, work with a sanitizer. Meanwhile, my name is Simon Chris Makanga, and it's been a pleasure having you on board. And may the good Lord of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob be with you, not until we meet once again tomorrow. For now, I am not around. Well, from my particular corner, I'd like to thank JB, and that's how I usually end my show, for dressing me up for all the shows that we've had. His number is 0758-597-322. One more time, that's 0758 597-322, Grand Corner level 8, and he will dress you up. Well, right now we've got to get out of the studios, but I'd like to say thank you for being part of the show. We come back tomorrow bigger and better, and we wait for your comments to make the show what it is.
God bless you. Dr. Sarah Rashid Lukwago, God bless you big, and everyone who has been watching. And from now, and I want to tell you that until Friday, I'm coming back.
Hey guys, you're watching STV, select for fun.